Okay, be honest with me here. You have a notes app graveyard, don't you? No shame and no judgment because I know I do. You've got the new routine note from January, the okay, I'm actually going to start now note from March, the vision board that you randomly made at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday night because you just got so incredibly inspired, but then you never looked at it ever again. And oh, let's not forget, you bought the planner also. The one with the tabs, the monthly spread, the habit tracker. You sat down, you color coded it, you wrote your goals in the neatest handwriting that you possibly could. And it looked beautiful, okay? It felt like a whole new beginning. But then life happens. You had a bad day, you missed one workout, you ate something you probably shouldn't have as far as your fitness goals are concerned, you missed your morning routine just one time, and instead of just continuing, you just stopped. And then you told yourself that you would just start fresh. But girl, let me just tell you, that cycle is exhausting. And somewhere underneath all the fresh starts, the new planners, the Monday morning pep talks that you've given to yourself, there's a version of you under there that is really starting to wonder, what if I'm just someone that doesn't stick to things? And if that is you, I need you to hear me when I tell you this. That is not the truth. But we do need to talk about what's actually going on here. So by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why it is you keep restarting. What in the world is really driving it? You're going to have a 3-step framework that are backed by some of the most respected names in human behavior that you can walk away with and start implementing immediately, because we are done being put on this restart cycle. Welcome back to your weekly girl check-in. Grab a notebook, grab a pen, open up your notes app, get a cozy beverage, because I'm about to tell you all the things that you actually need to hear this week. This is where we get real, we cut through the noise, and I share with you everything that I have learned and experienced so that you don't have to waste your time figuring it all out the hard way. And today's video is one that I am very excited to make because I have been on my own restart cycle in the past on my own self-development journey. So this is everything I wish I had at the beginning of that so that I didn't restart the times that I did. And if you're new here, hi and welcome. I'm Michaela and I help women break the cycles that are keeping them stuck and build habits and routines that actually fit into their real life. And that way they can step into the versions of themselves that they have been thinking about for way too long. So if that is you, you have found the cozy, productive corner of the internet that you have been looking for. And if you decide to subscribe, it would truly mean the world to me. And if you could give the video a like if it does resonate with you, that way YouTube knows that this video is actually a good video, and it's just a free and simple way to support the channel so that we can keep making these videos and helping you change your life and helping other people change their lives. Okay, so now let's get into the video and let's talk about exactly why it is that you keep starting over. Get your pens ready because we are going to get right into it. We have been sold a lie. We've been told that every time we fall off, just start over. A new plan, a new motivation, a new system, a whole new era, a new you, and of course, a new planner, obviously. And honestly, starting over feels productive. It feels like you're taking action, and there is a little hint of hope that comes whenever you have a blank slate like this. And I want to be really clear here because there is nothing wrong with a fresh start. By any means. I've had my own fair share of fresh starts. Sometimes you genuinely need one. Sometimes you really do need a new plan, which you're not gonna know until you start implementing the one that you created. Sometimes life changes and the approach that you had before just doesn't fit anymore. And in cases like that, a new and intentional reset is completely valid. But the real problem here is when the restart becomes the coping mechanism. When starting over is literally all that you do instead of just continuing on. When the reset feels better than the actual result. Because here's what's happening whenever you are starting over on fresh start number 47. You are not actually starting fresh. You are starting from the point of where it gets hard. And I say this with so much love because I have literally done this so many times. If you have been watching my videos for a while, you know I love planners. And back in the day, I would get the most perfect planner. I would be so excited to get it because I knew that all the successful people in the world had a planner, they stuck to it, they created their schedule, and that just helped them get successful. So I knew in my brain, if I followed this planner and use it day in and day out, I will then be successful too. And there's so many times where I would get the planner, I would fill it out, and I wouldn't use it for half the year. And all of that was a very organized and very convincing way of avoiding the discomfort that lives between who I was versus who I wanted to be. Starting over looks like progress, but most of the time it's just a very aesthetic detour around the hard part. Okay, so why in the world do we even do this? Because I want to be very clear about something here. It's not laziness. Because if anything, the women who constantly restart are some of the most ambitious, self-aware, and wanting to change people that I've ever come across. The problem is not effort. The problem is the all or nothing thinking. And if you are a perfectionist, or you are someone that goes all in, or you're someone that completely checks out with no in between, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And this sounds like just things I've done in the past too. I've missed one workout, so my whole week is ruined. I ate over my calories, so I may as well just throw the rest of the week away and just start next Monday. Basically, if I can't do it, then what's the point? And here's the thing with perfectionism that I learned that really helped me understand this about myself, and it's that perfectionism has absolutely nothing to do with wanting things to be perfect. Perfectionism is not at all about standards. It's about self-protection. Think about it like this. When you set impossible standards, you already have an exit ready, because you can easily say, oh, I would have kept going, but the conditions just weren't right. Or I would have kept going, but it just didn't look the way I wanted it to. The standard that you've created becomes your escape hatch. Because with that, you never fully commit, therefore you never fully fail, and your brain, God bless it, thinks it's genuinely keeping you safe. But there's a really big cost here that I feel like not a lot of people talk about when you are starting over or you're doing a restart. Every single time that you restart, instead of continuing, you are teaching yourself that you are someone that cannot be trusted. You're not doing this on purpose, and a lot of the times you're not even doing this consciously, but it doesn't matter because your brain's keeping score here. And the more you restart, the more evidence your brain is collecting to prove that you are someone that does not finish anything. And at that point, you're not just fighting a bad habit, you are fighting an identity. Okay, now I want to stop for a second here because I know a lot of you might feel a little called out. I know my past self would have felt very called out. I actually do still feel called out because I've done all of this before. I've thought all of this before, which is why I'm even making this video, because I wish I freaking knew all of this in the beginning of my journey. But I want you to stop right now and tell me in the comments, what exactly is the thing that you keep restarting? Is it your workout routine? Is it your morning routine? Is it the business that you want to start? Is it the habit that you've tried to pick up for so long that it just feels like it never sticks, and you've tried for the last 2 years to make it stick and it's just not? Comment whatever it is down below, because it's gonna make it real, and when you can make it real, you can make it something that you can actually tackle and understand why it's there. Because if you can't even acknowledge it, it's never going to change. Now, if you are tired of restarting, you need to adjust and not abandon. What if you didn't start over? What if instead of starting from scratch every single time something goes sideways, you just keep going? It does not have to be done perfectly. It doesn't have to be done with the same energy you had day one, but just to keep going. Because this is what I feel like a lot of people don't talk about in the self-development world, is that consistency is not doing the thing perfectly every single day. It's doing something on the days that you don't feel like it. The girl who changed her life did not have a perfect streak. She just had a recovery system. She missed a day and she came right back the next. She had a bad week and did not declare it a loss. She stopped measuring herself by how she started and instead measured herself by how she responded. Because there's a really big difference between I fell off, I need to start over, and I fell off, where can I pick back up? One of them treats a stumble like complete death and like the end of everything, and the other one treats it like another Tuesday. And yes, I know that sounds really simple, but that's truly the difference between the women who actually change their lives and the women who just keep trying to. So instead of asking, how do I start over? Ask yourself, what keeps throwing me off? Because if you've started the same thing 15 times, which it might feel like the 300th, the problem's not your plan. The problem is there's something specific that keeps derailing you, and you keep rebuilding the plan instead of addressing what the heck it is that keeps breaking the plan. Maybe your routine falls apart whenever your schedule gets unpredictable. Maybe you do great until you have one stressful day and then you completely shut down. Maybe you just set a goal that sounds good, but it doesn't actually fit your real life. Whatever the case is, that is what needs your attention. Not a plan, but a specific solution to the thing that keeps blowing up your plan. Adjust, do not abandon. So here's the part that's actually gonna make everything else stick, because mindset shifts are great, but they don't hold unless there's something underneath them, and that thing is identity. Most of us are trying to change our habits while still carrying around the old story of who we believe we are. I'm the girl that always falls off. I'm the girl that just can't seem to be disciplined. I always start strong and then I fade out. It's not gonna stick anyway. And we have so much evidence of this story. I mean, literally years of it. But here's what I've learned is that your brain doesn't collect evidence objectively. It collects it very selectively. It looks for information that confirms what it already believes. This is called confirmation bias. And it means that if your identity is I always restart, your brain will find every single piece of evidence to prove that that is true. And it will ignore everything else that doesn't. So your shift here isn't that I need better habits. The shift that you need is to build a totally different story, and not I'm someone that's trying to be consistent. It needs to be like I'm someone who follows through, who shows up. It's not I'm trying to be more consistent. No. It's I'm someone that keeps going. Not I'm working on my discipline, but I am someone that shows up even if it's imperfectly. Say it before it feels true, and especially when it doesn't feel true. And every time you say, I always restart, you are writing that as a fact. All right, so here is your 3-step framework that you are going to do to keep from restarting over and over again. So step 1 is you are going to find your derail pattern. This is by far the most important step, so do not skip it, because whatever the answer to this is why you keep restarting. Tony Robbins teaches this a lot, and he talks about how every repeated pattern in your life has a specific trigger. It can be a moment, an emotion, a certain circumstance that just sets everything off. And until you identify that, not the habit, not the goal, the trigger, you will keep rebuilding the same plan and hitting the same wall. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to open up your notes app or grab your notes and write down the thing or things that keep you restarting. Ask yourself, is there a specific moment where I feel myself falling apart? And do not write something vague, not like life gets busy. Like, get surgical with this. Get specific. Is it a certain day of the week? Is it a certain emotion? Is it a certain time in your day? Is it a certain situation that just keeps showing up? Because once you identify it, you can plan for it. You build a response to to it instead of just crossing your fingers that this time is different. That is not starting over. That is being smarter than the pattern. Okay, so after you identify the trigger, you're going to use the 2-minute rule. This comes from James Clear in his book Atomic Habits, but you want to scale the habit or whatever it is you're going to do to push through this trigger down so small that you can do it even on your worst day. And especially when whatever this trigger is hits, you can do this habit or this thing no matter what. He calls this the 2-minute rule. So this habit or this thing that you do is only going to be done for 2 minutes. And I can hear you now. I know you think like, oh, that's not enough time. That's too small to even count. But it counts more than you think, because the goal is not the 2 minutes. The goal is identity proof. And every time you do this 2 minutes, you are casting a vote for who it is that you're becoming. So you don't need a perfect streak, you just need enough votes. Step number 3 is you're going to use the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule. And this was created by Mel Robbins, and I use this all the time. And this is what I want you to do when the resistance starts to hit, is you're going to have a moment where you know what you should do, but your brain is going to step in and it's going to start negotiating with you. It'll say, I'll do it later, I'm too tired, we can just do this tomorrow. And the reason this works is because the countdown is a pattern interrupt. It pulls you out of the emotional, reactive part of your brain into your prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain that is responsible for rational decision making. So the moment you feel the instinct to act, but you feel yourself starting to talk yourself out of it, you're just gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're going to do it. Do not give yourself time to think about it, because just like Mel Robbins says, the action comes before motivation, not after. Alright, you guys, so that was this week's girl check-in. I hope that this helped you out. If you feel like you have been in a loop of restarting, I know I've had my own restarts in the past and had more than what I probably should have, but this is everything that has helped me and everything I wish I knew in the very beginning of my self-development journey. And hopefully, if you're feeling like you've been just trying to start something and you feel good for a little bit and then you let it go, or you just feel like you can't conquer something, or you feel like you just are someone that doesn't stick to things, I really hope this gave you the clarity that that's not at all who you are, and you have to prove to yourself that you really are that version of you that can accomplish anything you want. You can stick to the routine, you can stick to the habits, you just have to understand exactly what's going on and why it's happening, and then you can attack from there. So I really hope this video helped you out. Again, if it did, please hit the like button and subscribe so that YouTube knows this video is actually helpful, and it lets me know these videos are actually helpful to you. It makes my day to hear that they are. And again, I will leave the Google Voice number in the description box below if you want to leave an inspiring or motivational message, or you have a question. Maybe it'll be featured in a girl check-in, who knows? So I will leave that down below. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching, and I cannot wait to catch you in the very next video. Bye.